Good evening, everyone. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Eid Mubarak to our Muslim brothers and sisters. Thank you all for being here. Tonight I'm going to talk about two big ideas. Not shockingly, these two big ideas are in your program. They will be how my faith is organized and how it addresses societal change. Although I could talk about this topic all night, elitist timer is my arch nemesis, and I'm in a constant battle to best that timer, so I'm going to try to get done before the 5-minute mark too. I will be giving a brief overview of the Baha'i faith's beliefs, and if you have any questions, please write them down and give them to either Dennis or Robert. First, the Baha'i faith is its own distinct, independent religion. And one of the main Baha'i tenets is that each individual must investigate the truth for themselves. What this means is that God has given each human the capacity and the ability of mind to differentiate truth from falsehood. And for that reason, it becomes each person's duty to do just that. For that reason, Baha'is have no clergy. There are also no rituals involved in the Baha'i faith. What we do have is a democratic governance structure that was laid down by Baha'u'llah, our prophet, and it is the process by which every individual Baha'i over the age of 21 can elect those who will serve them. So I want to give you a brief general overview of the rules that apply to all Baha'i elections. All Baha'i elections are held by secret anonymous ballot. That means that I write down my ballot, I can't tell anybody who I voted for, nobody can ask me. There's no campaigning, there's no nominations. Every Baha'i over the age of 21 is able to be elected onto one of the assemblies I'm going to talk about in just a minute. Any Baha'i in good standing over the age of 21 can be elected to these, and every Baha'i over the age of 21 is eligible to vote. I'm going to start locally and expand from there. The first is the local spiritual assembly. It consists of 9 members. This body is charged with dealing with minor community affairs, organizing meetings, facilitating the education of children, and in Las Vegas there are 9 local spiritual assemblies. Across the world there's over 100,000. The next level up is the National Spiritual Assembly, and as the name suggests, this is national, and one country has one national assembly. It also consists of 9 members. These members are elected by other delegates who are also democratically elected by Baha'is who are laid out in even-sized districts, and they vote once a year for the National Spiritual Assembly. Across the world, there's over 182 National Spiritual Assemblies. The National Spiritual Assemblies are responsible for overseeing and assisting the LSAs in executing their duties. The highest is what we call the Universal House of Justice. It is our international governing body. It consists of 9 members, and those members are elected once every 5 years by members of the national spiritual assemblies from around the world. Baha'is believe that when the Universal House of Justice sits in their chambers and under prayerful consultation, any decision that they make is infallible. They are the governing bodies, they are the infallible bodies, they are the ones who make the decisions. The seat of the Universal House of Justice is in Haifa, Israel, as are most of the Baha'i holy places. Due to increased religious tension, Baha'is are not allowed to freely go to Israel, but rather we have to obtain special permission to even go on pilgrimage. Money. We all would like it, so we could spend it on things, or to give it to, perhaps, our faith. One way the Baha'i faith stays organized, if you will, is through the collection of money. In the Baha'i faith, only Baha'is may contribute to the Baha'i Fund. There are no exceptions to this rule. This is because giving to the Baha'i Fund is considered to be a distinct privilege for Baha'is. Giving to the fund is a private affair. You don't have to report how much money you're giving. Each Baha'i needs only give what they're able to give or what they desire to give. So the amount is immaterial, it's rather the spirit in which that money is given. The funds collected support Baha'i institutions, and while members of assemblies are not paid for their service, the assemblies may direct how the money is used. Some common ways are service projects to better the local community, education of children and youth, and socioeconomic development projects in impoverished areas. and moving to the Baha'i belief on social matters. In the Baha'i teachings, there's no belief in the end of times, the apocalypse, or the end of the world. Rather, Baha'is believe in a process of change that humanity will undergo and will ultimately result in what we call the greater peace. And what that means is a peace between every single human being on earth that goes beyond political boundaries and rather rests in the hearts of every single person. To that end, Baha'is are constantly striving, even right now across the world, to build spiritual communities where we conduct moral education classes for young children, empowerment activities for junior youth and youth, and are trying to create a spiritual discourse for adults through devotional meetings and study circles. And last, in the case of social evolution, where perhaps there might not be any authoritative Baha'i text on the matter, the Universal House of Justice would have the decision-making power in that instance. Baha'is do have guidance on issues such as abortion, birth control, equal rights for women, and military service. Any other topic that doesn't necessarily have guidance written either by Baha'u'llah, our prophet, Abdul-Baha, his direct successor, the center of our covenant, Shoghi Effendi, the guardian of our faith, or the House of Justice, would then go, and that decision-making power would lie with the House of Justice, and that decision would become Baha'i law. And I'm going to save my time, because I'm a lawyer and I can do that.